Am I the asshole for not sharing a free meal with my anti-Instagram boyfriend? I post my food pics from when I go out to eat on Instagram. It's just for fun. I spend like 30 minutes a week on it. Tops. My boyfriend is a very sweet guy in many ways, but one thing that I'm not so much a fan of is that he often hops on the bandwagon of hating on innocent things. Not just not liking something, but making sure everyone knows he doesn't like it even if nobody asked. I can't help but notice a theme: pumpkin spice lattes, pouty selfies, Taylor Swift, etc. As you can guess, he is not a fan of the food pics and thinks it's very annoying and cringe. He doesn't even follow my Instagram, even though he has an account. Even though I don't have very many followers, I have started getting occasional offers and invitations from restaurants in my city to try their food for free in exchange for a review. Nothing crazy. No steak dinner so far, but I've gotten a few sandwiches and several baked goods. Well, I just hit the big leagues and got invited to a new restaurant opening that includes a free appetizer and entree for me and one guest. I immediately invited one of my Instagram friends who I have gone out to eat with on several occasions and who also enjoys taking food photos. I told my boyfriend and he's pissed that I'm not taking him and says, "I'm doing it out of spite." I really think I'm not. If the restaurant is giving me free food in exchange for a post, I'm gonna put more effort into the post and spend a few extra minutes making sure that I actually get very good shots. And I'd rather do it with someone who isn't going to sigh and roll their eyes through the whole thing. Also, I think it's pretty audacious of him to be actively unsupportive of an activity that hurts no one, but then also expects to benefit when it's actually successful. Your gut feeling about this is absolutely correct. You're there to do a job, essentially, and his bad attitude would be a hindrance to you getting it done right. Not the asshole. I want to also gently point out, as a married woman of 21 years, that for a relationship to work and be healthy and happy, your partner needs to be supportive of the things you're excited about. They don't have to be interested themselves, but they do need to encourage and lift you up. Your boyfriend is disdainful of your passion. Did you know disdain has been scientifically proven to be one of 4 predictors of future divorce? True story. A person's character is their playbook. It dictates every move we make and defines who we are. The person you're describing takes joy in robbing other people of theirs. You're not the only person he does this to, as you've said. He is also someone who feels entitled to the spoils of other people's successes after putting a lot of energy into knocking them down a peg with his disparagement. This is his character. I hope you see that. This isn't the behavior of a sweet guy. It's mean-spirited, petty, and selfish. Of course, he has other qualities, but all of this is right there too. So coded into his playbook of character are these poor qualities. That means they show up in all kinds of subtle ways. I bet if you look for them, you'll find them. Yes, this. I'm a Disney adult, and I am sure my husband thinks I'm a little extra, but he has never once been anything but supportive. Not the asshole. Your boyfriend sounds rather exhausting with his "I'm cooler than everybody because I hate popular things" attitude. Go and have fun with someone who isn't a sourpuss. Enjoy your dinner. Also, the list of popular things he shows contempt for, pumpkin spice lattes, selfie poses, and Instagram food pics, is mostly associated with women. The whole trend of mocking popular female interests needs to die. To gently point out, the things he actively hates are all associated with women. No, he doesn't have to like it at all, but actively hating is a part of misogyny. I don't think this is a good guy. That was my first thought as well. He doesn't like things that are simply popular, but primarily popular with women. That misogyny is just going to get worse over time. I was ready to call for dumping him on the basis of the anti-feminism alone. Info. If you told your boyfriend that he could come as long as he was respectful of the work you're doing to pay for his meal, what do you think would happen? I'm not sure, but even if he was, I would still rather invite my friend for this particular meal, just because it's related to our shared interest. This discussion is interesting and touches upon some deeper issues within the relationship. It's not just about sharing a free meal. It's about one partner not being supportive of the other's interests. Wow, it sounds like your boyfriend's behavior is really starting to get to you. I mean, anyone would be upset if their partner was actively unsupportive of something they enjoyed. I'm glad to hear that you're not letting his attitude hold you back from doing something you love. It's great that you're standing up for yourself and still enjoying life despite his negativity. How have you been dealing with your boyfriend's unsupportive behavior? Do you feel like it's affecting other aspects of your relationship as well? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's move right into our next Reddit post. Am I the asshole for refusing to hand over my college fund for my little sister's surgery? I, 17 male, am the oldest kid in my family. My parents have 2 biological kids, me and my 12-year-old sister, and they adopted my 4 other siblings. I had dozens of foster siblings over the years as well. My parents have struggled to make time and have the money for all of us. It has meant a lot of sacrificing, and mostly on my part. My parents were able to make sure all my younger siblings had at least one activity outside of school to do, but they never did that for me. I was forced to play football when I was 5, but by the time I was 7, my parents had started fostering, and I was no longer doing that. My siblings all get to do something they like. Cora does dance, for example. Some of my other siblings are in music classes. The younger kids were also prioritized with school field trips, so they always got to go while I haven't since I was 6. The last time I asked was when I was about 9, and my parents told me to work for the money to pay. My grandparents found out what they said and gave me the money, and my parents took it off me to use for the household. My grandparents were so mad at them for that. They delayed my tonsil surgery by 2 years because they prioritized 2 foster kids and 2 of my siblings' surgeries over mine. My grandparents saw how much I was getting the short end of everything with my parents, and they set up a college fund for me. It's a lot of money and really caught me off guard. My parents know about it but cannot access it. They only know because of a fight with my grandparents over the lack of saving for my future when they have saved something for my siblings. My parents said the money my grandparents saved should be divided equally because $350,000 is a lot to save for one grandchild when you have multiple siblings. That money is still there and I have plans for it. But my youngest sister is 5 and she needs a pretty major stomach surgery. She's had a lot of health troubles since her birth, and my parents have paid a lot of money on her medical expenses. They were told this surgery could turn her life around and give her a chance at living with less pain and stomach complications. It could give her a more normal childhood because she can't do a lot. They don't have the money for the surgery, and they want me to give them the money to pay for it and for the expenses afterward. They said they need $270,000 for the whole thing, and maybe they can give some of it back, but they might need even more if stuff gets more complicated. I told them they can't have that money and they lost it, and told me I was being selfish, and I argued back that they take from me all the time. I asked why they didn't take the money they saved for all my siblings and use that. Why does it have to be mine? They said I am putting college before my sister's future and accused me of being unwilling because she's my sister through adoption and not my biological sister. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Also consider, is that money actually yours? Like, do you have access to it now at age 17? And can you use it for something other than education? I doubt that is really the case, especially since your parents took money your grandparents gave you before. I expect your grandparents have protected it somehow. You could tell your parents if they want money, they need to talk to your grandparents about it, or tell your grandparent yourself that your parents are pressuring you to give them the money, but you would not be the asshole if you didn't want to risk it. There are many charitable organizations that provide free medical care to children. Shriners and St. Jude, for example, although neither might cover your sister's issue. St. Jude addresses childhood cancer, Shriners orthopedics, burns, and spinal injuries. Your parents should be well aware of these. They should also have medical insurance or CHIP. I think their story smells fishy. Technically, I think my grandparents would give it if I asked, but I also want what they saved it for. I want to go to college and actually have a chance to have some money to fall back on as well. After learning my siblings have all got something saved for them, and I had nothing until my grandparents, I was really able to think about what I want my future to be. I don't actually know that my parents have had insurance for the last 2 years. I remember that was an argument between them when my mom got sick and was afraid to go to the doctor because of the expense. Not the asshole. Can you move in with your grandparents? You're 17, and your parents have never prioritized you. They won't pay you back, and if you stay, they will guilt you until you give them the money, and then they will continue to treat you like crap. I hadn't really thought of that as an option, to be honest. You're not the asshole. You are absolutely right. They should be using the money they have saved first. They said they need $270,000 for the whole thing, and maybe they can give some of it back, but they might need even more if stuff gets more complicated. Bull. This is a cash grab. They demand a huge chunk, but not all first, while laying the groundwork for snatching the rest. Not the asshole. Do not give them a cent up. They are asking you to forgo your future to give one to some stranger you have no connection to other than your parents feeling generous to adopt one day. That's their burden to carry, not yours. They might adopt another kid too and spend money on them, so unlikely they will pay any of it back. Absolutely insane they want money your grandparents have put aside for you. Do not let them have any more weight over your life and keep living each day to make your life the best. Whatever you do, please don't let them crack you. You are 100% in the right to keep this. Not the asshole. I call BS on your parents needing to pay out the ass for medical costs for a special needs adopted child. My understanding is the state will provide a certain dollar amount, cash-wise, each month, and state-paid insurance. My adopted parents only received medical for me. I didn't fall under special needs. I think they are lying to you. I would have an honest conversation with your grandparents and see about moving in with them ASAP. How your parents are treating you is not okay. You deserve better than that. Oh, my heart broke a little reading this OP. You're definitely not the asshole. Your parents have neglected you, and they're asking you to sacrifice your future. Your grandparents have that money set aside for your education, so use it for that. It's tough knowing that your sister has to have surgery, but the funding for that is your parents' responsibility, not yours. And you've sacrificed enough. This is a heartbreaking situation that demonstrates the unfairness of life and the struggles of family dynamics. Wow, I can't believe how much you've had to endure in your family. It's just not fair that your parents have continually neglected your needs and now are pressuring you to give up your college fund for your sister's surgery. It's understandable that you want the money for your future, especially since you've been left out and overlooked for so long. I think it's completely unfair for your parents to expect you to bear the burden of paying for your sister's surgery, especially when they have other options available to them. Your future matters just as much as your sister's, and it's not selfish to prioritize your education and security. It sounds like you've been through so much, and the fact that you're being put in this position is just appalling. Have you spoken to your grandparents about this? I wonder what they have to say about it. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.